Welcome everybody. It's 3, 2, 1, jump right in on the clock. Let's go ahead first and take a deep breath. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. So it is. Sending lots of love and blessings out to you guys. Thank you so much for joining with me. And I just remembered during meditation something I never wrote down. I don't know if it was last night or the night before, where I went into meditation before I went to sleep. And the first thing that I think it was last night. Was it last night? Yeah, because it was really late. And I went right into meditation. And the first thing I saw was children playing all over the place. It was beautiful, actually. So this morning again, my blue jay came. I was doing some stretches, and then I went outside to do something, and as soon as I opened the door, the blue jay flew across the porch. So I walked across the porch and I said, "Don't fly away, I love you, come back." And the blue jay came back. He came back and was on the corner of the house talking to me. And I said, "I love you, don't go away." And he talked back to me for a minute there. And then he flew into the front tree and he was peeking at me through the leaves of the tree. And then he moved to a different place in the tree and was peeking at me again. And I was talking to him. And it was, for a couple minutes there. And then he finally flew off the tree. I'm not sure where he is right now. But that was a beautiful sign, because the blue jay has always flown away and never come back. I'm going to come back later, but would never come back at that moment. And today the blue jay returned and talked to me. So there's a message for you. Really beautiful energy. And then when I told you about the flipper energy I was seeing in my meditation yesterday, like a roulette wheel, and how the wheel hits the flipper, I was getting that when I opened my stevia packet this morning. You know how you flip the packet to get the contents down? I was getting it again there. So if anything comes up for you guys, please let me know in the comments. And so before I get into the message of the day, because I do have a message of the day, a union read, and a twin flame read. And by the way, I took this picture I took by accident when I went to take a picture of the cardinal yesterday. And this is the picture upside down. It looks like two people in a doorway, or one person in two doorways. I don't know how well you can see it on here, but yeah, it was pretty cool. So, first, before I show you the pictures. So the energy this morning, I wrote this down because it was just very prominent to me, that the leaves were just blowing down the street going south. At the same time, a plane was overhead, and I could hear my chimes in the wind. And then the sun came out, because it wasn't like rainy or anything this morning. There was no sun, and all of a sudden it was sunny. And then I also saw this morning a squirrel on my back deck when I was first doing my morning drink and everything. And he was sitting on the post on my back deck, and he twirled his tail up in such a beautiful way. It was like like a scrolled S. It was really beautiful, and I can't tell you how long he stood there like that. It was like he was posing, but I couldn't get a good picture through the window because of the screens. So what else was coming out? And I brought a couple flowers in too, because it got pretty chilly this morning. So I put out it was interesting too, the message I was getting this morning. When the blue jay finally flew away today, he flew to my next door neighbor, which is 26. And then I went over there to see if he was still there on the side of the house, and there was another bird sitting there. But it looked more like a female cardinal. The tail was very different, and it was much more dull. It wasn't the blue jay. But they sat there for a moment and looked at me too, and then flew to the backyard of number 26, which, by the way, my next door neighbor, the house just sold. So if you're trying to sell a house and you've been struggling, that may be a message for you that the house is going to sell. So I pulled Metatron cards for myself this morning, but there were definitely messages there for the collective I wanted to share with you. That was at 11:14 this morning, which is the 11 of Justice, the 14 of the Temperance card. And the underlying energy was the codependency card, which it says is the key to your freedom. And it's a picture of a tree cut in half with a lock holding the roots together. And it's number 53, which is the Knight of Swords, the messenger of truth. The codependency is the key to your freedom. And of course, the roots of the family tree and where the splits are, where the divide is, the two halves of the tree. And the first card that came out was the orange card. I'm not going to tell you all the cards, but I do want to give you some of the messages because the birds came out, right? So they always show me what I've already done this morning and then the next steps I should be taking this morning. So first was the orange of stretching, which I did, and then blessings, which I actually put some sunflower seeds out for the bluebirds today, which I don't have a bird feeder, so I don't usually do that, but I did to see if they'd come back, and I haven't seen them come back there yet, but we'll see about that. I'll let you know. But again, food and blessings, making sure you're putting food into your body that's helpful to your body and not hurting it, which I was juice in the morning. I put like 10, 15 things in my juice. Everything's organic, so it's really healthy. And then I do a big cup of milk with a little bit of organic decaf and stevia in there. And that gets me through most of my day. It's very nutritious. So, giving yourself thanks by treating your body well. And then the signs came up with the bird on the picture, which was then my blue jay coming in to give me messages. And conquering fears. So I was asking, well, what fear am I dealing with today? And I don't feel like it was so much my fears as perhaps family you're dealing with, or perhaps children and dealing with their fears. And the dragon strength here of the lower chakra energy of safety and security and finding your power. And then the new dawn, which comes up. It's like, then you're refreshed again. It's like, a new day. Now you're ready again. So also the fear for me of the cold came up because I feel very insecure in the cold. I have memories of just remembering when I was working in a restaurant when I was young, and it was like I had to stay there really late and wait for the manager to close up. And there was only hard benches to sit on. There weren't any like cushioned seats to lie down on or anywhere. And I was cold and there was no jacket or blanket to put on myself. And I just remember how awful it felt to want to be able to lie down and be warm, and I couldn't, and I had to be like that for like 2 hours. And also in the wintertime, I just get more insecure when I get cold. And I don't know if that's a feminine thing because we do have smaller vessels and we do tend to get cold easier than men do. But also there's a fear of freezing to death, which is one of the past lives I saw. I saw myself as a man in like kind of a war zone area. It's kind of reminding me of the show MASH, where I'd get up with his brown robe and slippers, but yet it was a war area with soldiers and things like that. And then when I was taken to the end of my life, I literally was living in a house in the middle of nowhere with a ton of snow on the ground with the path all shoveled out. And I walked down my front walk and just dropped dead in the snow. So I don't know if I have some fears of the cold because of freezing to death and things like that, I'm sure. But also what was coming up is there's one picture of an ice cube on the farmlands, which I'd gotten a download that there was going to be some kind of information about how to make the vegetables last longer or grow bigger regarding using freezing techniques, right? Because freezing preserves as opposed to heat, which destroys. So that was coming up. And then Mother Earth. And a weird little siren went off, and it must have been a truck down the street. Like it wasn't a regular ambulance siren or anything like that. And that was at 11:24, which is the 24 of the Queen of Wands, but also comes up as a very significant ending on a kind of a community or a local level. A lot of inspiration or creativity, because the Queen of Wands is very active and inspired and creative, and can be a very much a country woman as well as a starlet. So there can be extremes in any card or representation of the feminines in the card, in the deck. But ground support was coming up here along with the moon, which can represent the false light. And then the passion for life, though. So is it used in a positive way or a negative way? And then priorities were coming up with the 52, which is the Queen of Swords, the person who's very much in their head and intellectualizing. So the colors that came up from my read this morning were red, orange, and then violet. Not violet, but lilac came up, but similar colors. And the shaman coming up is the red, very hot energies, as opposed to the cold fields I was just telling you about, with a big ice cube on the farm fields with the vegetables. So the fear of cold and the safety of hot, that we usually feel safety in the hot energies, but we also get irritated easily in the hot weather. So the King of Wands shaman was coming up as that red safety, security, and power energy. And then the lilac of like Disney World comes up, which is the opposite of that, like the crowning energy of heaven on earth, of magic and higher self. And then Sandalphon came up. And my son used to get Sandalphon all the time. He was very connected to Sandalphon. And that can be a twin energy as well for the Divine Masculine, which comes up as number 22 as the Fool's Journey. So, and Sandalphon in this desk, always this desk, so somebody's desk maybe has Sandalphon on their desk. In this deck, Sandalphon comes up as the number 22, which is the Fool and the Fool's Journey, that open heart taking a leap of faith. There's a very creative, sweet energy around that archangel. And then the 12 strands of DNA came up again, where the first 6, and this is according to Cryon, the first 6 strands of the 12 are the human 3D DNA, and then the second six have to do with the Lemurian energy and the Godhead energy, or the 5D energy and above. I was getting to stretch, eat, and follow your guidance. For me, it's birds. It could be something different for you. But then I was on the phone with my daughter, talking about something, giving her some advice or help about something. And then, again, the Queen of Wands coming up here, perhaps with choices around how she will best be emotionally fulfilled. Overcoming fears for dreams to come true. The sunshine and the dragon were coming up, as well as the high vibration dawn. So it's like the dragon is coming up as the sunset and the high vibration of the dawn of the sunrise. The D&D, the dragon and the dawn. Like dragging on is the sunshine at night as it sets, and then the high vibration dawn, which is also referencing the masculine and the feminine. The sunshine dragon of the masculine and the high vibe dawn of the feminine, like this, the going to sleep of the heat and the waking up of the cold of the feminine. The new moon comes up tomorrow, and it's cold in the morning now. So again, bringing the plants in. So the ice cube on the farm might have been prompting me to bring some plants in because it's getting too cold for them to be outside. And I do want to look up, I think tomorrow's the eclipse. I can't remember if it's tomorrow or December 4th. So let me just check that. Just want to make sure for you guys knowing, because I keep getting 3 nights, 2 nights, and then and 3, 2. We just got 3, 2, 1 at the beginning of the video jump, and we're jumping into that tomorrow. So eclipse. Let's see here. Okay. Of course, it's not taking me to the current stuff. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, it's not November 4th. It's December 4th. So I'm glad I looked it up. So we have the partial eclipse on the 19th, and then the total eclipse on the 4th of December, as opposed to November 4th. But those are the eclipses, but there's still something significant that's been coming up because I keep getting guided to November 4th. So, We do have that new moon tomorrow. And the Knight of Wands was coming up as that passion for life, heating up with the new moon here. And the Feminine and the Queen of Swords, focusing on their priorities or more intellectualizing. So the masculine could be going into the heat, the feminine into their colder energy of intellectualizing. And the truth coming up as the strong foundation of power of being in your truth. And the message of dreams coming true, right? The Disneyland of heaven on earth. And then going on the Fool's Journey. And again, this has come up a lot this week about leaving the Wounded Warrior journey to go on to the Fool's Journey with an open heart and being free to be the Fool, to take a leap of faith. And then Sandalphon came up. And in my cards that came up, the shaman, like the root red energy, was looking up at Archangel Sandalphon with admiration. It was really cool. And they were also looking at priorities as well. And priorities in this deck comes up like Sandalphon with the wings, but with the triangle in the body with the point near the wings. And before I told you that to focus on the yellow section of the sacral chakra, basically to the top of the solar plexus, which comes up to around where the wings are. So we're still focused on that section as being a priority. So while I stretch, follow my guides through the hot and the cold. I was getting the earth and the man in the teepees, right? Because the shaman is coming up as the American Indians, as the hot, with feathers and peace pipes. And then what was coming up is the blue jay versus the cardinals. So I told you yesterday, blue jays in my front yard and cardinals in my backyard, and they both were with other birds. At 11:46 is Justice and the Six of Cups, the children loving each other, and can the blue jays and cardinals get along? So I looked up information about them both, which was really funny because both are the Chordata aves, or aves, that's the category of birds, but it literally breaks down into chordata avenues. So the birds of the blue jay and the cardinals are chordata avenues, and they're also in the grouping of the songbird, which I didn't know. And the word for songbird is passeriformes or formes. So it breaks down to pass urgently, I for me, or I form the S of the Sophia, the ES category here. But passiformes, or however it's pronounced, is perching. So the blue jay loses their feathers, but the cardinal does not molt, and they don't migrate. Both are in the United States, eastern side of United States, probably on the east side of the Mississippi or something like that, or the was it the Rocky Mountains or the now I'm blanking out. But anyway, the east side of the U.S. and Canada are where they both hang out. But cardinals are also found in Arizona and California, and they don't migrate. So cardinals like shrubs and lower branches, whereas the blue jays like the woods and the higher branches. The jay enjoys parks and burbs, and the cardinals enjoy the bird feeders, which is usually the suburby type of areas as well. The blue jays are messy with their nests, so they're not very anal. They make do with whatever they have for their nest. So they kind of can wing it. They're more of like a mutable sign, whereas the cardinals, more of an A-type personality. They keep their nest very small and neat. The male cardinal is the one who protects, but in the blue jays, they actually group together to fend off the predators. The blue jay also occasionally eats other things than grains. The cardinal is just a grain eater, but the blue jay can eat other things like eggs and sometimes other bird eggs, as well as cats or occasionally nuts, mice, and frogs also came up. Both mate for life, or at least until death. And the cardinal in the mating season flirts. The way the cardinal flirts is they get seed or grain and approach the female with it in their mouth and offer it to her as if kissing her, continuing until she lays eggs. And this shows the female cardinal that he's stable, that he's going to keep coming back and showing up and helping me. So they raised 2 sets of young. 4 eggs hatch in about 12 days. They leave in about 11 days, and they fly about 20 days. The average is 3 years for the cardinal, but can be up to 15 years. And there's a record from Penn State of one living till 28 years in 2002. The blue jay is less formal than the cardinal. And yeah, obviously and this is interesting too, the way they defend themselves, because the cardinal's red. So that's a natural protection color. It's intimidating. Whereas the blue jay is a very friendly color. It draws people in. I don't know if it draws other animals in, but it's more friendly energy. So the blue jays in early spring, 7 or more gather at the top of a tree, at the treetop. I was getting rock-a-bye baby on the treetop. When the bell breaks, the cradle will rock. Or whatever it is. When the bell breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby, cradle and all, which is so funny because the bluebirds mate at the top of the tree. There's 7 or more with one female included in that group, and they fluff and they dance, showing off for the female until she flies off. And then they keep continuing doing this until she has chosen her mate, and then they nest. They have 2 broods depending on the warmth, laying 3 to 7 blue, green, or yellow speckled eggs that incubate for 17 to 18 days. He occasionally sits on the eggs for her, so they share their responsibilities for parenting, and they take flight in about 17 to 21 days. The reproductive age for the bluebird is about 1 year, and the average life is about 7 years, but they're known to live up to age 17, the star. Both will die to defend their young, and this part was written by Carrie Cardinal. She was doing a term paper. That was from termpaperwarehouse.com, and that was August 1st, 03? Maybe it's 13. Yeah, August 1st, 13. The blue jay has a longer beak and a wider striped tail and a white underbelly, of course, and the cardinals are mostly red and have masks on their face. They're masked. The blue jay sounds like a bell, whereas the cardinal sounds like a whistle. So they're going woo woo, whereas the blue jay sounds like a bell, so very sweet and ringing a bell. Despite hostile behavior toward other birds, the blue jay are soft-hearted towards their own species. They will attack hawks, owls, dogs, and cats, and humans if they get too close. And they do scare away the cardinals. They steal their food and occasionally their babies too. But there's definitely powers in numbers for the blue jays. They're very territorial. Blue jays are very intelligent, and this is why there's an issue here, because they know they're more intelligent than the other birds. They can manipulate and control for their benefit, especially especially I guess if it's for protecting their family and their little birdies especially too. That was coming up from birdwatchingpro.com. So the cardinals attack their reflection. So if they see themselves in a window, they may attack them because they're scaredy cats by nature. The cardinals can be a symbol of loved ones sending you a message. That's, some of the spirit animal type of energy. And the jays are known for safety and security. They also like white oak trees, sunflower seeds, peanuts, and some other things too. And the jays may be considered as bullies, but they also help other birds by alerting them to predators in their territory. So they'll let their neighbors know to get out. So that's when I put the sunflower seeds out for the blue jays. That was at 12:33, which is the hanging man, and the 33 of the Christ vibration, standing up for oneself. So they are standing up for themselves, and the group helps them as well. So the dragon clear pyramid was coming up on the blessings here, blessings and thanks. Then the dragon of power here, with the clear pyramid inspiring love for life here, of the higher realms and magic. The shaman with dreams come true in their power. So becoming empowered within yourself allows your dreams to come true here. To clear the energy from the pyramid of colors, the chakra system. The shaman is coming up here as offering and then watching. And that came up in the message of the day cards too, where there's like a tiger stalking. So they're offering and then they're watching to see what happens. And that's what we're doing too. Like I put out bird seeds today to see if the birds will come and eat the food. And the robin redbreast was coming up as well in the cards, who's a happy little guy, right? And they always come around. They're not afraid of us. The new dawn of opening wings and spreading the love. The orange, golden, yellow energy is a priority here, as well as the red was coming up. The 52 of the Queen of Swords is the Archangel Sandalphon energy with harp sounds. So harp also can be coming up here, helping the feminine. Sandalphon it's saying that he's with you, and was literally showing as me helping my daughter today in the way that my cards came up. So it was very interesting the way it came up. But it can be the masculine energy helping you out to help your children, and vice versa. The shaman focused on priorities, but first dreams coming true. At 12:54, the Hanging Man and the Page of Swords. So the message of the day here, I'll show you the pictures first, was at 1:07 to 9. This the 1 of the Magician, the 7 of the Chariot, the Strength, and then the 9 of the endings, the completions, the compassion and collective consciousness, that wise one of the Hermit going within. And it's also the 789, which is the 5D. So we have here, this is the union read for today. 3D, 4D, 5D, feminine on the left, masculine right, the bridge between them in the center. Incoming divine feminine, outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energies, and the closing energies here. Make sure you can see that well. Okay, and this is the Syrian Starseed deck. This is the general read in front of you, which is more than just the union energies for the twins. It's all the energies. And you see the lovers there smack in the middle. There may be a lack of affection or a breakup there. And then we have the full read in front of you. It is a 7-deck read. And then here's the message of the day. And there's a second page too, because I couldn't fit all the cards right there. And that's the second end little part there, with the phoenix and the cosmic egg at the top. Yep. Okay. So the message of the day started with the underlying energy being the golden egg, which is the heart chakra, the whip, the 2 of cups reversed, and the message of concern. The heart chakra, the nest egg, and justice of cracking the whip, in disconnect or at a distance, with a message of concern and the need for patience and balance and a higher love. The bear faces the crocodile and the elk about a nest egg, perhaps a mother bear, and perhaps an elk who may be a child or a partner or a mother or father. And who is the crocodile here? And is that someone who may have cut their nose off to spite their face? Or perhaps they got numb like me at the dentist the other day, where my lips were then numb. Or perhaps somebody who has a little bit of reptilian side in them coming out here and showing their colors. The Knight of Cups takes a chance here. The Power Man, or 28, with the wise flock and justice of the rod and staff, or perhaps their help. The 10 of Pentacles, family, business, and community here, and juggling the rainbow with 2, frustrated and coming together with the Knight of Swords reversed, who may be holding their tongue or rising above the disconnect between them or the distance, and may not want to deal with something from a distance. At 128 is the 1 of the Magician, the 28 of the Twin Flames, or the choice of path. After, let's see here, the mailman had shown up right there. He's still talking loud. He's always talking when he's coming up to my door. It's funny. With no awareness that I can hear everything that he's saying. But he's a very nice guy. Hard-working child, or the Queen of Cups, and loving connection with mother, or a marriage with the main female high priestess and the emperor courtship on a destined journey with a message of concern, just requiring patience and balance and a higher love. Babies with truth and balance, helping them leave the nest and create their own. So again, here the birds are paralleling the children. The first section here was the nightingale by itself, and that came up yesterday. This was the movie I'd watched the day before. The nightingale purifies the air with their song, with wise counsel around, announcements and or calls to the mature woman, ground control to Major Tom, and the Burns, or Bernsteins I'm getting as well, so that could be coming up for somebody, and the birds, somebody might have gotten burned as well, and the birds finding a way to communicate through their wings and ears and temples, but I was getting like the temples of your eyes. The second section here is the eagle and the tiger, the landing and the gear, the winged and the stalker, the crouching tiger and hidden dragon coming up again, because that came up yesterday, and the bush and the tree, right? One is short and stout, and the other one's tall and lean. The King of Wands with petty annoyances or messes, food for the animals around, crumbs and mice, leftover apples, and the Queen of Cups upright with the Hierophant, mature man, or she is like a man, very adaptable and responsible, and the tiger cutting the wheat from the chaff, riding in on their chariot to talk to the Queen of Cups at just the right moment, as the Knight of Cups is in the community. So this could be someone stalking someone to see when it's the best time to approach them, but it also could be about entering a community, like checking it out first before they actually try to enter, to see if they're going to like it or if they're comfortable there. And this can also be the feminine coming into the masculine's community, or the masculine coming into the feminine's community right now. It also can have to do with parents and their children and the different communities. The songbird of the eagle and the tiger, the mature woman and the mature man and the community here watching for them to come together. The woman with wise bird or counsel, and the man King of Wands with rugrats or Queen of Cups, looking forward to the chariot, the vehicle of ascension or of infiltration, but it can be also a Cancer person, or the feminine within the masculine coming together, and the Knight of Cups community of love. The stalking tiger discerning which road to take, and ascending with the Knight of Cups community, which is someone of love, or just being love, or an offer of love. Or the divine masculine bringing the divine feminine to meet his community, or vice versa, and ready to pounce. The Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups, that could be the masculine and feminine coming together. It also could be two children or two water signs here who are very loving. Or her community accepting him as one of them. Watchful eyes of discernment here at 146, the Magician and the Six of Cups. The third section here is the black egg, which is the truth or the throat chakra, the hawk and the spider. Speaking truth, the hawk clears the way, just with their energy, of the collective grid and the web, perhaps the World Wide Web. The truth from or of a home and stability, and the magician trying to manipulate the wise, privileged lady. The hawk clearing the mountain and completing a task, letting go in the changes, allowing hermiting and or completion and or endings. The center point, territorial, like the birds, of self-love, putting up your boundaries, of well wishes and buckets of water, as I was dumping buckets of water the other day. Sunshine and exposure to all and high energy, and a decision about a house and or home at 151, which is the Magician and the King of Swords. Perhaps a home in a mountain with a well, but perhaps insecure about letting go when the sun dries up all the rain and the eensy-weensy spider goes up the spout again. The lady moving homes, or perhaps someone's going to a bigger house, or it's their first house, and this could be a child as well, or a townhome. And the fourth section here is the bat, the crow, the buffalo, the wolf, and the fox. The bat far above the earth, perhaps in a tin can, as the crow stands guard talking to the buffalo in secret about the wolf and the fox. The bat is inspired to communicate under the radar as a divine masculine with sudden thoughts of her. The crow, two as one, the Queen of Wands satisfied getting their wish of a home, union, and or adjudication, and the buffalo with the Page of Cups, innocent, with multiple masks and faces, but the worst is now over, and bliss is coming in with the King of Cups, a man, or the man-child of the boy of unconditional love, or fiddler on the roof. I was just getting diddler on the roof as well, but that can also come up as the chimney sweep. The wolf, the eye, spy, the grounding, integrating, and mastering, or gym, and the details, the magnification of the bacteria or virus or small parts, or someone who tends to make things bigger than they are, with sudden events, epiphanies, and sex, and presently inspired or imprisoned or imprisoned by gift or gifts. So they're either presently imprisoned or feeling imprisoned by a gift someone gave them or by their own gifts. The fox, pushy devil, maybe a Leo or polarized Queen of Wands and weak, needing the strength and courage to deal with a little thief. Or fox with a pushy mother, the Queen of Wands with Leo in their chart, who is the thief, or she's with a friend or male partner who is, and who done it here. We have the divine masculine who could feel like a failure or needing attention here. This could be someone who has generally attention-seeking behavior, with sudden thoughts of a woman, under the radar, satisfied with union and bliss of the tower event that weakens him. And that can be a sexual energy exchange as well. Worried about being imprisoned by it, or a young boy who could go to prison for playing magic tricks on people, or to catch them. And the fifth section here is the worm and the bunny, the newbies, and the King of Cups boy, perhaps with time issues and or constraints, and the Atlas with the weight and the world, and the Page of Wands inspired to great fortune. The rabbit or bunny with family and freedom and in need of peace, in the dance of the masked male and female or false person in the tango, cell block 8. The sixth section here is the tarantula, the gazelle, the raccoon, the frog, the scorpion, and dear one, that's you. The crossroad of the graceful gazelle and the rocky raccoon as the frog gets their stinger out to take a zap at dear one. The gazelle, oh, Nat just showed up. He's right by my mouth. Nat King Cole, what you doing? What's the message? He's sitting on my wrist right now as I'm pointing at the book. Unforgettable. You want to hear it again? That's what you are. Unforgettable. So near or far. He's still crawling on my wrist. You're funny. Do you like that song? So the frog gets their stinger out to take a zap at dear one. The gazelle and the doe are looking straight at me. They look very similar, except for the horns of the gazelle being the lower chakra system of the masculine, and the dear one being the upper chakra colors of the divine feminine. My gnat's still on my hand. The spider is the abundant ship, or empress, or Gaia, like bat wings and branches, with minds of their own. The Page of Swords reversed with bad news, or the King of Wands at the courthouse or filing papers. The Gazelle Knight of Wands is committed. What are you doing? What are you doing? What you doing here? He is not intimidated by me whatsoever. He was just perched with a little butt on me. I don't know if he has any little stingers on him. Nope, he just left. He's still on my hand. No, he didn't. He's on my finger now. You don't want to leave? All right, it's on my finger. Okay. So the Gazelle Knight of Wands is committed here, or in a commitment, and perhaps fell from grace, inspired by unexpected income from the lady in wait, or at 28. The raccoon power lady present, or a gift, or with them without lover but expecting them. Or the raccoon has a mask, is the power lady, losing to the lady in wait, or the twin, or she is waiting on her female lover, because there's two women here at 2:14, which is Valentine's Day, and that's the timeline of Aquarius. The frog with lover's breakthrough and a split and or bad health, perhaps divided about care for someone. At, again, 2:14, it still is. With scorpion with their stinger out, the trigger point, and opening doors to the fool's journey, which, remember the picture I just showed you that I took by accident, looks like two pathways to choose from. It's like that card with the doors in it. You know, the top of the stairway of two stairways where the two doors open? And that picture I took looks like that. Hold on, I'll show you that again. So there's that picture. It looks like, I mean, if you prop it up like this way, it looks like the two doorways that you have a choice of paths to go through. Looks like there's two people in those doorways waiting. Did I get you? No? Are you okay? I think he's okay. I don't know why he's not flying. He doesn't look hurt. Just guess he likes me. Okay, scorpion with stinger out, the trigger point in opening doors to the fool's journey, needing a hope to heal from the wounded warrior's path. So this came up before too. Like we come in as a human, as the wounded warrior, because we've already been wounded as animals and plants and stones and all sorts of things. We start as the wounded warrior human, and now we're changing to the fool's journey path, which is an open heart of the fool taking a leap of faith. But ultimately what they were saying with the new children now is the unconditional love path, which is that 5D. So it's like the wounded warrior is the 3D, then the fool's journey is the 4D, and then the 5D is the unconditional love path. So the dear one seeks the snake in the garden or the poison apples. The chariot, the vehicle of infiltration, working to align. Remember that the bacteria in the clam is what creates the pearl. The vehicle of infiltration, the person who works in a certain area or a certain industry in order to infiltrate the dark. Working to align with rebirth and transformation. Burying the hatchet, case closed. Exposed coffin, in the death, ending, dark night, or vampires, and exhumation. From dark to light, the magician's trick, the hole in the bottom of it, and a pillar underneath to escape into, the box or the square cut out on the floor, or the ceiling, or the back of a car, the hatch, the escape hatch, or working on a will, an estate planning, a planner, or getting a parent's estate in order, may be an exhuming of a body here. This was a specific download I was getting. Someone literally is exhuming a body because they think there was a poisoning. The key to freedom in the codependency here. So if someone's looking for a cause of death and they're pulling up a body because there's some kind of codependency, and again that could be what's it called? Where they do it for attention. I'm just blanking out on the name. And it was somebody poisoning another or using an innocent to plant seeds of death in someone. Maybe there's somebody who's got a lot of fears, and so they knew that the more anxious they made them, the more likely they would die because they're sick. The Page of Swords reversed with foolish behavior here in a breakup and wanting clarity of the truth, of depression and or arrogance at work. Or did someone plant a tarantula, a black widow, or scorpion to hurt both the gazelle and or the dear one? I want to see what that message was. Okay, so literally there's either, and obviously most people are not killing people today, but it looks like someone might get exhumed, and this can be in the news too, because they believe that someone poisoned them. But now we have also someone planting some kind of poisonous spider or tarantula or scorpion, which I had when I was in college. There was a scorpion on my desk at school one day. It was the funniest thing. I was in economics, I think. And all of a sudden the whole back row was all one desk. They weren't separate. And the whole back row was on the third floor. All of a sudden they just start moving their chairs very slowly back away from the desk. And there was a Scorpio on my desk. A scorpion. So someone might be planting something, hoping that it will sting someone. But this can be metaphoric as well. Did someone plant a tarantula, black widow, or scorpion? I had a black widow in my bathtub in Arizona as well. Scorpion to hurt both the gazelle and or the dear one, which can be the twins, because the gazelle and the dear one, they look alike, except the gazelle has antlers. So the Taurus, Aries, and Aquarius energies look suspect here. Perhaps Gemini or twin may be sick, or the frog is also coming up, warts and all. The Libra, Sag, Aries, and the Virgo, Cancer, Leo seem to be a combination of energies that seem to be the gazelle and the dear ones. The seventh section here is the Phoenix and the Cosmic Egg. Rising from the dead, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the horny devil in disguise, in despair on the journey, in the dance with the devil, the doctor and patient, the mortician and the body, the playing with people's lives, the cosmic egg, and the crowning glory of the collective awakening, to the burdens of post-war, of the official person decorated and on the fool's journey now. From root to tip, shaman to crown, the phoenix of the collective, from one bringing in the news, the good news, right, the happy messenger that people like, of ending the war, to officially on the fool's journey, graduation and all. They made it at 2:33, the high priestess and the Christ vibration standing up for oneself. So there's a lot of masculines who have graduated here. This is also paralleling with the movie I was watching last night. What was it? Is it the general's daughter? Yeah. Well, I finished watching The Irishman. There's all this stuff about the mafia and then the general's daughter, which there can be, a kind of mafia situation in the army, right, for the dark people there. And in the general's daughter, if you've ever seen it, it's an older movie. It's with John Travolta. It's about the daughter of a general who was gang raped when she was in the army, and he forced her to keep quiet about it, which then it killed her. I mean, she was badly. I mean, it was like a 12-hour thing for this poor girl. Like, it was like really bad. And her father basically made her eat it. So anyway, I'm not going to tell you the whole movie, but it was about that energy of this tainted general, right? Who couldn't see the error in their ways. The energy of people in control, playing with other people's lives. So it's like, it doesn't have to be a doctor and a patient, but it's that kind of energy of like the general and the soldiers, the boss, the people who have the power and control, who manipulate other people's lives. They'll say it's for their own good, but it's actually servicing their career or something else. And that was the energy coming up around this. All right, so now going back to the physical union. I hope I didn't hurt the gnat. I mean, he can fly away. I think he went. Okay. The physical union, 3D, 4D, 5D today. This was at 9:12. I didn't roll the die yet either. Let me roll the dice for you. For the twin flames, here we go. We have the number 9 of the collective consciousness, completion, endings, compassion, universal selflessness, the wise one of the hermit. And we also have Uranus of sudden changes and Aquarius energy, as well as Leo. They've been coming up this week. And 9 can be the hermit of Virgo as well. So we have Virgo, Aquarius, and Leo coming up. And Aquarius and Leo are on the same axis along with Virgo of the hermit here, but that's also the collective. And endings, compassion for the sudden events. So they're opposite, right? Because the Aquarius is the collective and mob rule, and then the Leo is all about the child and getting attention of the one. So it's the opposite spectrum of the one and the all, and then bringing it together with the 9 of compassion and the hermit, which is the one and all, because the hermit is one because they're alone, but they also meditate to connect with the collective consciousness, which is the all. So very interesting combination today. The physical union at 9:12, which is the hermit and the hanging man. The underlying energy was the Knight of Cups. The central energy was the 3 of Cups, and then the star seed at the end, which is like the Fool. The Knight of Cups offering love to come together for a fresh new start, to plant a big seed. Which is funny because we're talking about seeds and the birds this morning. The 10 of Swords is the underlying, or the incoming divine feminine. 10 of Swords, the King of Cups, and the karma. Ending pain, or a painful ending or betrayal, or perhaps just a massage, or someone who works in the area of pain. The Knight of Cups offering love to create bliss, with the King of Cups opening their crown or final judgment, which I just told you there's graduation here. We have 3D here of the Knight of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, and alchemy. The divine feminine Knight of Pentacles proposal, perhaps of grease, or the greasy wheel, or greasing the wheel. And the divine masculine alchemy of blending with a pit in his stomach, perhaps about patience and balance. Bridging with purging alone by the creek, and the 4D here's the 7 of Wands, 3 of Cups, and the 4 of Wands. The divine feminine rising with the phoenix above drama, with flame in hand to tango, and the divine masculine with home and bridge, with roses to greet, and dark at the end of the tunnel. Bridging with the 3 of Cups gathering at his home to see if she can stand up to the group. The 5D here is the 8 of Wands hanging man in the tower, with the divine feminines in energetic exchange in the circle of trust, keeping it tight at 0 point. The divine masculine tower of lightning and drama, and scaling weights and measures, and stonewalling, or masonry. Bridging hanging out with the right knee block, not expressing an epiphany and or an energetic exchange that he's experiencing. The outgoing divine masculine here is the King of Swords, the Six of Cups, and the higher self. The King of Swords, sensei energy, hugging the higher self, which is the feminine, in the plasma ethers, remembering their connection. As he holds his sword, she holds papers, or the Akashic records, the scrolls of big downloads to the crown, and hail to the crown. Okay, so that could be talking about the crown, perhaps the Queen Mother, but also could reference hailstorms coming in. The divine feminine proposal to elevate and keep it tight. The divine masculine alchemizing union with drama, epiphany, and sex, and the light across the sky. Hands across the water, water, heads across the sky, so that's coming up. The bridging of getting over sadness to come together and hang out. The divine feminine has Aquarius on her side with the Knight of Cups, King of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. The masculine has Scorpio, Sag, Pisces, and Aries on their side with the King of Swords and the kids. Between them is Pisces or Capricorn energy, gathering and or reunion here. The overall number for this read is 43 of the Three of Cups, of coming together, reunion. That could just be friends hanging out. It doesn't have to be anything big. The horizontal pillars came out to 8, 14, and 21, which is the dance of manifestation, dreams, and the 14 of the Temperance card, 21 of the world and completion. The horizontal ones came out to 10, 00, which is source or space, 15 of the devil, 8 of the strength card, dance or manifestation, the 4 of the emperor, the 0, 6, 0, the 6 of the lovers, 43 is the Three of Cups. The message came up as manifesting dance of a higher love for the world by coming together. The high vibe space, the devil's dance with the emperor, to give space for the family or lovers in order for them to come together. Very interesting. And again, the Irishman and the general's daughter. So again, very much about the masculine powers that be who can kill or destroy lives without a second thought. Okay? And feel nothing about it. And the Irishman, they actually interviewed him at the end of the movie. As an old man in the old age home, do you feel anything about it? And he's like, no. But throughout the whole movie, he never seems like a real bad guy. He just kills people when he's told to, and he's very loyal. It's a very interesting presentation of that kind of mafia energy. All right, so now we have the read in front of us. And let's see here. The Syrian Starseed deck was cut and dealt at 10-4. And that's message received. And in the General's Daughter movie, she was sleeping around to get back at her father, basically. So, and of course, the father always denying that he had anything to do with anything, that nothing is his fault, all that kind of stuff. Deny. And meanwhile, his daughter's dying inside, and she eventually, So the 10-4 is the message received with the Syrian Starseed deck cut, and at 10-15, which is the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune and the 15 of the Devil, and the 4 is the Emperor. So we were just talking in the Union read about the Emperor dancing with the Devil, which is the energy of the mob, the energy of the general who doesn't care about any other lives he affects. The He star came up here. The He star. And I was also getting a little tail here, which reminded me of the blue jay with his tail sticking out from behind the pot, hiding from me. So funny. All right, so I finished clarifying at 10:32 the Wheel of Fortune and the 32 of the Journey, the Six of Wands standing up for, or this is the one bringing in the good news that ends the war, leading the way, and successful. With the Lovers, the Wheel, the Shadow, and the Star. The Shadow is the Devil here. The Tower comes up before the read, and after the read, the Strength card and the Ascension, or the World card, comes up. There were 3 Pentacles, 1 Cup, 3 Wands, and no Swords in the main part of the read. We have the King of Cups, the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, there's a couple right there. The King of Cups, the Queen of Wands are all in the read, along with the Nine of Pentacles, which is the sovereign energy, and then after the read, the Queen of Cups came up as significant. The only numbers in this read were 6, 7, and then 9. 66 did come up with the extra cards, which is the King of Pentacles, or the Queen of Pentacles. That was the only double number, was the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles. And the 9 of the Hermit, which can be the Queen of Pentacles. So maybe all about the Queen of Pentacles, but we have Queen of Cups too, which can be the same person actually in this read. We have 56 of the Two of Swords, 78 of the Ten of Pentacles, the family, business or community, the world at large, the dream, and the 89 of the Phi energy, expansion and contraction, or of staying at the center, the reflection of it all. And 1 in a lesser sense, which is the new beginnings, the 1 of the masculine, taking second fiddle right now because it's in parentheses. The code line here is all about relationship change and intuition, and it was broken up into relati, on ship, cha and ainge for change, and then into and ishin for, or I-T-I-O-N for intuition. So that'll come up in the definitions. The first interpretation of the code line, which by the way, the number on the code line was 15 of the devil, coming from 6 and 9, which is the lovers and the hermit, or the collective. The bridge of alternating currents, and that can be air conditioning as well as the intellectual man or woman. The bridging alternating currents of 1 of 2 union, the lovers who are destined to the life essence, the sap, the essence of life, and the order of it. And there we're talking about military and the mob, everything's by order. To beget, and we talked about begetting in the read yesterday, the day before, right? That the devil begets the devil. To beget, the see, and see, to see with your eyes, to see with your heart and your emotions, to see with the Christ consciousness, and support the unions, the lover's destiny of high vibration of that life essence of the hermit, the collective consciousness all in one, the 1 of 2 degrees. So then separation by 6 degrees was coming up. And this could be 1 of 2 degrees of separation or of degrees that people are getting, because we're getting graduations here. And to own, possess, perhaps a needle or oaken ship. The blue jays like oak trees. So if you want a blue jay, you might want to get an oak tree. To own, possess, to needle, a needle or a broken ship. And remember, the needle kind of came up as the spoke that goes through the wheel. And it came up like a needle, that it was a blunt end, it wasn't sharp. To own, possess, needle, or oaken ship in alternating currents or air conditioning, supporting the union of lovers in the 6 degrees of separation. So those were the messages there. The relationship change and intuition breakdown came up to narrate, to reconsider, on ship or one's hip, to dawn, the father, to weep in leisure time, and go within, inside, at home. The spore, right, that gets in, it's like the bacteria that gets into the clam, the spore, a going, a walking, a traveling, an it connection, or in other words, an infiltration that you never get out of. You know, like getting a splinter that will never come out. That's what's coming up here. A union that there is no escape from, in other words. In a positive way, if people will just accept that, and that it is love. So again, the he star and the abusive masculine was coming up, and so this read in front of you gets into some really sticky stuff, sexual stuff, about abuse. So if it's not something you want to listen to, please turn it off now. So we have the King of Pentacles reversed, and beneath that the Tower, the 8 of Cups both upright, the 5 of Swords upright, and the Ace of Cups upright. So everything upright except for the King of the King of Pentacles on top, who's reversed, and which is also Akashic Records and the Crystal Skull. So sudden events, epiphanies, or sexual exchange, explosions, eruptions, somebody blowing their top, blowing their cover, blowing their crown, blowing their mind, or mind-blowing sex, whatever it is for you, and walking away in a war over love of the King of Pentacles reversed choosing the path of holding their tongue about deception of poor judgment. Again, this can be like in The General's Daughter, that he wanted it kept quiet so that she wouldn't be humiliated, but more so West Point wouldn't be tainted. Okay, that was more important than his daughter to him. Choosing the path of holding tongue about deception of a poor judgment, a need to swallow their pride, holding back information and or an announcement. The chariot at war with the prisoner and dreams, stardom, healing, and coming clean or cleaning up the mess. The hostage of a bird taking flight, or imprisoned learning to take flight within the mind because they can't escape their body, to get out of there. Equal parts of land and sea, unable to stop leaking, crying, rippling, and tributaries, always a way to find their way back to where you started from. 6 degrees of separation between the little girl and a bird taking flight, coming clean, and Spirit's connecting with me. It's making me want to cry. 6 degrees of separation between the little girl and the bird who takes flight, coming clean, with the King of Pentacles reversed, and Scorpio upright, Cancer and Aquarius both upright and reversed, perhaps going back and forth or vacillating between their feelings about this, or they're 2 Cancers and 2 Aquariuses, in a split, a lie, a divide, or BS, presently on guard, on duty, on post, off sides, all sides of unhappy with self or arrogance and paranoia. PTSD, back in the trenches of Saigon, a 3-legged race to grow up or get down, never satisfied, the National Guard, and the spy who loved me at 12:41, the Hanging Man and the Ace of Cups. At 12:41, strength upright. We start out here with tackling the beast or the boar under palms and big feet. No fantasy here on the red couch, or perhaps the psychiatrist or the psychologist's office, and the wounded warrior and the empress of narcissistic hierophant, married to the mob or the military, the soldier tale of woe. But what about the female soldier, gang raped by her peers and silenced by her father, the ones protecting our country, beating and raping and traumatizing our daughters, behind the scenes, carrying a torch, leading the billy goat, the white dark bird coming at them. Or no, not the white. It's while the dark bird is coming at them and attacking. Red boots and family crest or shield, dead bugs and conch shells, to better hear you, my pretty. The snake bit her, begets Adonis's arms being tied back. Right? So the snake who bites her begets the Adonis's arms getting tied back, sitting on logs of the old man with multiple women, and traumatized daughter abusing them right back. The patience here comes up of, I don't think it's 20, I think it's 26, but it could be. And spiritual career, what is patience? Oh, it's number 2. All right, so patience comes up with 2, which is the high priestess energy, and beneath that spiritual career, which is 78, so that's the family, right? The power family of the 10 of Pentacles, the family, business, community, the world at large, the army, whatever it is that has a lot of money and power or abundance behind it. The spiritual career here, and the Queen of Wands is reversed with the Queen of Cups reversed. 2 of Swords upright, the Moon upright, the Sun upright, the Hanging Man upright, and the Empress reversed here. So the 2 queens here, the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups, both reversed, perhaps who messed up, unaware or pretending not to know about Cancer, subconscious manipulation. And again, in the movie, her job in the army was psychological manipulation. So she learned how to destroy people through their mind as opposed to what they did to her by destroying her soul through her body. So these 2 queens messed up, unaware or pretending not to know about Cancer or a Cancer or subconscious manipulation. The full moon spells now exposed with no way out for the Empress reversed, the coven leader or the dominatrix royale with torturous ring and no chastity belt, although she may store it there for use on her whippings. Saturn and Aquarius illuminated by the sun, the ring of fire around Saturn with spokes or spores and axles and whores, chained up and stretch boards, torture tools and daddy scores. ring around the rosy, ownership of the womb. When born, your number is sold to the highest bidder at 119, the magician and the sun. What dreams may come? Implants in the womb, the essence of life, and the warrior vehicle of death. If his sperm didn't battle its way in the first place, she never would have existed. His deliverance, her mother's delivery, and her returning the merchandise, tattered and torn en route. No rep from the company to take responsibility for the wrongdoing or failure to launch. Oh well, sorry, you'll live and die. We all die eventually. Goodbye. The devil begets the devil as the sun comes out. The walk of shame. No more blame game. Just the truth brought to light. This isn't your mother's cake. Gifted with love. This is their cake, and eat it too. Possession being 9/10 of the law. Human corpse possession. The ultimate in fashion to own the Holy Grail. The sap, the life essence. If it can't be it, to own it. What they don't get is, at 131, the magician and the Five of Wands, the battle, the war, the pursuit of happiness. What they'll never get is that they'll never get it, that one can only possess their own love. So the Emperor reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed, coming clean or cleaning up, cleaning out the arrogant and the narcissists, the Taurus and the Taurus, who seem to be upright here, but they're the powers that be, the female and the male sexual abusers who are in power here. The patients with spiritual cancer, patients of trauma unresolved. No one cared, left them for dead. No one cared. So why should they? And so I want to stop here just for a second. How many of you have been raped or abused in that way and know somebody who is? How many women who have not told their story because they would have been judged and not listened to and turned away as like, who cares? Right? I can give you several situations of my own. I mean, I never went through a trauma like gang rape or anything like that, but we've all experienced being abused in some way or another, whether it's rape or abuse within sexual relationships, of violent sex within a sexual relationship, of stalker relationships, of molestation, of driving down the road and someone trying to cut you off in the middle of the night so that they can kidnap you and have sex with you. There's all sorts of energies like that that women deal with every day. No one ever talks about it. So I'm bringing it up now. I mean, it's even as simple as things like a friend who may flirt with a bunch of guys on the boardwalk and say, oh, come back, we're having a party at our house and this is our address, even though our house is not the address where the party is. And then that person who invited these 3 guys back isn't even home that night because they're off with their boyfriend, and these 3 guys show up in somebody's bedroom while they're sleeping. It's as simple as that. And we deal with it every day, even at jobs where my first waitressing job at a restaurant, the manager had a cot in the back, trying to get girls in the cot in the back room all the time. And then on the boardwalk, first job I had, they would pay girls to walk in the ocean to get their shirts wet. They would give them $10 to go walk in the ocean. So this is what all girls deal with every day, whether anyone else realizes it or not. It happens all the time. So at 136, the magician and the 36 of the 10 of Wands. And by the way, this is not limited to any type of male. This is the other thing I want to bring up to you, okay? Having worked in a hospital for 25 years. If you went to have surgery, would you allow a surgeon to do surgery on you or do any kind of procedure on you if you know that if they had raped someone the night before or abused someone there can be a lot of doctors who have a lot of distorted views of sex because they have a lot of experimentation when they're in medical school. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of wonderful doctors, but there's a lot of scary ones too. So think about that. If you knew what they had done the night before, would you want that person who acts all sweet and beautiful at work and very professional? Can you imagine that that person's doing your surgery? And I'm not talking about a specific surgeon or anything like that, but this does happen. So we have healing, forgiveness of rape or force, frustration, the tease, the inability to understand or feel pleasure, the Knight of Wands and the sexy siren. And then going forward after this is the energy of walking away within, the secret passion, where the worst is over with bliss of promised love from towering inferno of one who's arrogant and unhappy with self, a workaholic or not working out. And then the Four of Pentacles upright, Scrooge, holding on for dear life, dumping emotional attachments, and the Knight of Wands reversed, falling short or paralyzed by their passions at 202, or unable to function or perform. The recent past here is the Queen of Pentacles reversed, the Hermit with light on their self or a dependent or their powerlessness, and awakening to their own power and or strength. Receiving love from one defending their honor, and the Knight of Cups upright offering love to one overworked and not wanting it, fending off love offers at work or beating them off with a stick, not wanting the affection in a breakup and or justice, implementing a plan with dysfunctional family and or the organization they work for. So again, this can go both ways. As much as some women get abused all the time, there's also women and men both in high positions that are getting advances all the time that they don't want. And so they can end up turning on those people because maybe they think that they're just a piece of meat. Whether it's a woman or a man, it doesn't really matter. It's still a form of abuse. But it's really, they need to be able to stand up for themselves and say no, as opposed to being nice to people they're not supposed to be nice to. And that's where they get themselves into trouble, because they want to be the one everyone loves, right? So they get everyone to come into their loving energy and then wonder why they're having problems getting rid of people. Well, they're being too affectionate. They're being too loving with people. It goes both ways. So the foundation here is the shadow upright, the hornet's web, dumping emotional attachments, and the rising above, sleeplessness, awakening, moving, and visits, the Page of Cups reversed, vulnerability and rejection, juggling the daily, performing the patient angel of mercy, the sweet angel who mixes your drinks or performs your surgery, may have raped someone the night before, especially those who are used to getting what they want, those in vulnerable positions, drunk women, and patients, as one example. The central energy here is the Lovers reversed, the breakup, the lack of affection, overworked or not working out, or a quest for sex without love, with a prisoner hostage, and the Page of Pentacles reversed, in need of help, money, or opportunity, with sudden event, epiphany, or the world turned upside down. By the King of Cups, perhaps a loving man, is he? Or a Scorpio child, teachers and their students, and children, proctors and their interns, producers, directors, and actors. The starry-eyed promise of being in their energy, the rich, the famous, the savior, and the heartthrob, the devils and their disguises at 224, the High Priestess and the Queen of Wands. The narcissist adept at playing all three roles at once. The perpetrator who abuses, and then claims they're the victim, and then saves you from yourself. Oh, what a kingdom they've built. So at 227, the High Priestess and the Ace of Wands, the challenge being the wheel reversed. Perhaps a downturn or slowdown, or the Emperor reversed and the devil himself, a wolf in sheep's clothing. The warrior King of Cups upright, or the King of Cups Cancer, the Emperor devil's disguise, or walking away in Cancer King of Cups versus Capricorn Emperor reversed, right? Coming up as opposites here, right? Cancer, King of Cups, and Cancer's opposite from Capricorn, Emperor reversed, which is coming up as a narcissistic energy. Walking away from player, Knight of Wands reversed, or trying to leave those days behind them, perhaps trying to change their ways. The Magician reversed, insecure without tools, manipulative, getting over loss and regret, as the Hermit with light is missing their flame on a quest to flirt with danger. With the Queen of Cups upright or making a fool of themselves in front of her, out in the cold extending an olive branch, to the King of Wands reversed, patient angel, or Sagittarius getting over shame and guilt of instability, a move, a visit, or that the party is now over. With the Empress upright and the Hierophant upright, and the sister, or suffering in silence, or causing others to suffer. The jealous rage of the King of Cups with their pet and their dessert, their cake and eating it too. The Hermit's fall from grace, or embarrassing oneself. And is it the King of Cups upright, or is it the Emperor reversed, who's actually the devil here? The pillars of the community with a hostage and no cares, and causing issues at work and a loss of income. And now is the King of Cups upright, receiving passionate offers from the Queen of Wands looking the other way, or announcing or judging a wake-up call, or slave driver, or overtime, or shooting to make sure, not shooting but shouting, or shouting to make sure they're out of bed in the morning to bring home her bacon. The Emperor with issues at work, with the devil, temptation or ball and chain, or Capricorn and Aquarius, and the Emperor upright here with the Empress reversed. The King of Cups could have Capricorn and or Virgo and or Aquarius in their chart, with Princess who refuses to wake up in the morning, with no peace and coming together for sex, or a plus reunion. Holding on in the downturn to the Six of Cups soulmate energy of loving each other, or past life energies of soulmates, or just fond memories of the past, and children too, or a loving past connection or fond memories of their kids, and sister, or suffering in silence, being up nights with the Emperor reversed, worried about sharing and distributing funds, worried about having enough for the kids, or to deal with too many messages every day, which you all know about, like an email. It's crazy now how much you have to work on your email just to keep all of your messages deleted. The Page of Swords, to step up to the plate here, with the Page of Cups reversed, giving up trying to express their feelings, with a moody Sagittarius drinker or potion maker, Sunshine or Leo or kids, and the Page of Pentacles reversed is exposed here, hurting themselves. And again, this can be coming up a child or partner who's cutting themselves or doing things that are harmful to themselves. Lovers out in the cold offering help to the Hierophant or Taurus child, and Pisces reversed sharing with the King of Wands reversed. Soon here is the Seven of Wands upright, rising above the drama with flame, in separation, perhaps 6 degrees, of implementing a plan after the Emperor reversed, with new information and clarity, and withholding time, money, and effort, and playing hardball or saving, is now planning to invest in the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community of the Queen of Pentacles reversed, who may be without peace and lacking faith. The Hermit is upright, the Wheel reversed, or that's Virgo upright and Libra reversed, shedding light on things not going their way at work. At 255, the High Priestess and the Truth. The Twin Flames seeing themselves as the Queen of Wands, the multitasker, with secret passion with the King of Swords, and the Page of Wands inspired by disconnect or being at a distance in this connection at 255, coming together with the Empress in the never-ending story under the radar, feeling like failure, hanging over his head at 258, the High Priestess and the Four of Swords, the connection in the 5D, attraction, passion, and give your relationship a chance, and very soon, but even more so, express your love. Around the twins are how they're seen as the Six of Wands reversed, under the radar, in need of attention, and feeling of failure too. where dreams come true for the Queen of Cups upright, adamantly standing in their truth, now that the worst is over of the injustices to her, and the block being the Nine of Pentacles reversed, the powerlessness in the lack of faith in self, and the King of Pentacles reversed, unable to receive love. The Hermit, a Fool for the King of Pentacles reversed, and both learning to receive love and love themselves first, with intuition and relationship changes, and even more so here, change overall, change and face the strain, change and, so that's coming up. The jealous rage of the King of Cups, or Scorpion King, or the King of Cups. The Star, Page of Pentacles reversed, so Star Child who's cutting themselves, an unstable home, serving the Hierophant or Taurus in an upside down world, or Pisces reversed, slaving for the King of Wands reversed, and the Queen of Swords upright talking about it. Aquarius, or Divine Feminine in the 5D, or the Star, the Healer, the Dreamer, the Queen of Cups Tiger, through the Ring of Fire in search of peace on earth around the world at 327, the Empress Gaia, and the 27 of new passion and inspiration and growth. With Aquarius, Leo Sag, Pisces reversed, Taurus upright, and Scorpio upright here. Perhaps there's Virgo upright and Libra reversed too at the end. The King of Pentacles reversed, Shadow, or Capricorn, and the Queen of Wands under the radar, or attention seeking, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed without affection, or broke up, or down, or through, and challenged by a twist of fate to rise above their powerlessness with the King of Cups, and or unconditional love, healing, and dreaming. Imagine the Queen of Cups breaking through to the other side of the world at 332, suddenly leaving as the frog becomes the prince, offering love from the King of Pentacles reversed in an outpouring with the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Empress reversed at 333. The shadow lovers break through to the King of Cups, unconditional love, challenged by a downturn and slowdown, and the Queen of Wands rising and falling into powerlessness and dependency, only to rise and heal again, as the Queen of Swords in her truth, the Queen of Cups loving self, breaking through to the other side, in need of a peaceful place in the 5D world to rest her weary head. At 336, the Empress and Atlas and the weight of the world, and then to bed. Good night. So that was the end of the story. And now we're going to pull a few oracle cards to tie it all together. And then I have to do Virgo and Libra astrological reads, as it's about to turn 4:44 on the clock. It's 4:43 at the moment. And it's 1:22:44 here. There you go. You got the Fool's Journey and the grounding and integrating and mastering of love and receiving love with the Magician embodiment and the Fool's Journey. And the 4:43, it just turned 4:44. The 4:43 is the grounding, integrating, and mastering with the 3 of the Empress and Gaia. And now we have the 444 of the angelic realms. So a lot of 4s there. And 2s. 2 2s. 2 4s. 3 4s. All right, let's see from the Animal Spirit Guidebook. What is the message to take away from this? The Wolf. So in the Wolf in this deck, there's another card coming too, is about the wolf pack leader. That's time for him to step back from telling everybody what they have to do, that they can be sovereign and make their own choices, and he can still be there to guide them if they want his help or her help. But they're becoming neutralized here, kind of stunned about it, not knowing what to do next. So what do I do now if I'm not the boss? What do I do? What do I do? And we got the dragonfly, two hearts that beat as one, but this is also very much an air card about the illusion of the brain, right? Just because someone's intelligent and sly and able to be the leader doesn't make them better than somebody else. And this is the wolf also seeing two hearts beating as one as they pulse and become inspired with the firefly here. Like they're watching the pack, the young, how beautiful they are. I never saw them that way before. I didn't know they had those kind of abilities. Look how beautiful they are. Look at my birdies flying. My little birdies finding their way. And then we have the final card that wants to come out in this section is the zebra, who's looking back at the wolf like, yes, my third eye is open, and I see you, I know you, and it's all okay. It's all right. It's all right. All right. And then these two want to come up. So the bear or the mother bear, the brown bear, the black bear, facing off the crocodile who cut off their nose to spite their face, or perhaps they just had Novocaine because they had their teeth worked on. There's definitely reptilian energy here with the crocodile there. So the bear facing off with the reptilian. The bear's in the light, the reptile's in the dark. So as the dark and light face each other, the pack leaders are finding neutrality and they're awakening to the light of the pack, of all of their different talents. We have the bottom of the deck is the scorpion sting, right? The vehicle of infiltration. The thing that gets in there, right? He's the jumper cables too, right? The one that gives it a jump, that creates the pearl, that initiates the spark. The scorpion. And look who's behind the scorpion. There's multiple layers to that guy. Look at this. This is cool. The cards behind the scorpion. So who do you think the scorpion is? The scorpion is the frog, trying to become the prince and stand up for themselves, because he's really his higher self, his solar plexus dragon, who sees everything, who's really Mr. Ed, who is God after all, Saggy Mr. Ed, who loves to expand. And he is a talking horse after all. And what's behind the horse? Of course, in the course of life, is the stingray, plugged in and turned on and fully activated, spreading their wings. Okay, so it's really cool coming into the masculine energy, getting their stinger out to stand up for themselves. It's really beautiful. All right, let's see what the journey of love has for you guys. What was that first card? Oh, it was the pack leader. So the leaders are learning to back off, getting humbled by their group, and that was very much in the movies too, right? The leaders getting humbled by the people who have worked for them, or perhaps they're getting old and they can't do what they used to do, and so now the young ones are taking over and doing it in a whole new way, and they have no control over that. All right, from the journey of love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. It came out so gently. It kind of like swirled around and then just kind of fell. The burning hero of the three, of the Empress energy of Gaia, the mother, the burning hero of the feminine and what she's been through. And obviously that was what this reading was very much about. All of the trauma that the feminine has endured at the hand of the masculine. The hidden beauty. All of those women who've never told their stories, or did and nobody cared. The 45 of the Five of Cups, of the grief, grieving their whole life because they're stuck in a situation, or were forced to marry a man who abuses her every day. Men don't understand that in having sex with a woman, they're infiltrating her body, her inside. Right? When he has sex, he's outside of himself. She's allowing someone else to invade her body. There has to be a lot of trust there to allow someone inside of you. The hidden beauty of the divine feminine, the warrior, who has survived all of this. The grief, the regret, the guilt, the shame, the walk of shame. not being able to let go of the past, to see her way forward. And then all of a sudden, just for a moment, joy, and finding the light anyway, in spite of it all. Being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. The child giving birth that makes it all worthwhile, that you can do anything for your child, that you're not scared anymore. If you could just have that moment of joy with your child, or to be your own child again. Let the feminine lead the way, the 39 of the Knight of Cups, who understands how to be love, even in the worst of circumstances. She contains the essence of life. She's able to give birth. She's able to rebirth herself into something completely else, right? To take that life essence and take all the trauma and the damage and create something really beautiful from it. In the blood dance of the 42, the Two of Cups, the two hearts that beat as one, right? The 4 quadrants of the heart. I was just getting military quadrants. As the mother prays, the shadow side of the mother. Is not standing up for herself, letting people walk over, right? So it's the woman who doesn't tell people what's going on. The fire and ice of the 37, the King of Cups of unconditional love, right? The red and the blue jay and the cardinal, and the Christ energy standing in the middle, the mediator coming to the middle, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel in order to merge the two sides together and become one. Fire and ice, riding the cosmic wave to find peace. This is the feminine finding peace within herself, no matter what she's endured. Being able to find peace, and then taking the polarities and having compassion and allowing them to merge together as one. Fire and ice. And the unity, Christ unity consciousness there. So again, I'm going to show you these cards again. The 3 of the Empress Warrior, the hidden beauty of the pain she's endured, and the child inside that she carries, or she can become again, and letting the feminine lead the way. And this also could be birthing multiple generations, right? From the mother to the abused daughter, to the child who's free, who grows up empowered to lead the feminine, and let the feminine lead the way, just being love no matter what. In the blood dance of the heart of 2 as 1, where the mother prays over them. It's just like summarizing the shadow of the collective feminine, what she's endured as long as humans have been alive. Okay. I want to pull an energy card too for you guys. Let's pull an energy card. And it was just 1:33 and 4:54 on the clock, which is the Emperor and the Message. And 1:33, well, it's waiting for 33. So that's the Christ vibration and the Magician embodiment, and then the 3333 right now, which is the 3333 of the 12 strands of DNA. Coming up again as the masculine and feminine come together within their own masculine and feminine, which is 4 parts. And that came right out. Taking action, coming together, the polarities merging to the middle. 17, where dreams come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. There's the Deceit of the Knight of Wands. This came up yesterday too, the same 2 cards. The deceit of the masculine, abuse, and the feminine who's bored of the games. The 36 of Atlas and the weight of the world upon her shoulders, where she's always been perfectly willing to carry the weight. She is the mother after all. She is able to carry the weight of another human being. But she's not interested in the games. And she's not interested in being walked all over being the patient angel anymore. This is where they have to merge to the middle, where the dark and the light come together and become human after all. We have the bottom of the deck of walking away. Somebody's inspired to a new life of freedom and happiness, not scared of the outside world anymore. And there's the hostilities of the masculine coming out, the Page of Wands. So masculine hostilities is the underlying energy. This is manipulation and hostility, whether it's the masculine or the feminine or both, because we have the King of Wands here too, saying they're all tied up and just playing games. And the hostilities that come out when they can't control someone anymore, because somebody's walking away, they're not dealing with it anymore. Finding inspiration and freedom, that's what's going away. And here's the merging together of polarities, of dreams coming true, and bringing these two polarities together. So we then have the thinking woman with synchronicities and lots of options, and the butterfly leading her to her destiny. The third chakra, Archangel Shamuel, which is very much Sandalphon energy too, the 37 of unconditional love. We have the Magician in the mirror here next too. So there's a energy of it, the young energy and the old man of the 53, the King of Cups and the Emperor. How funny is that? Because there's so much play on those two characters in the read. Right? The woman with, perhaps this could be a partner of the masculine who's walking away, or a child who's walking away. They found their own power and they have lots of options, or seeing synchronicities. Perhaps they're walking away because they have a twin. Finding the unconditional love, a loving man of the third chakra, someone standing up for themselves, being in their confidence, shining their light. And then here is the old man of the Emperor, the Knight of Swords, messenger of truth, or the knight in shining armor. We don't know. Or is it someone who's been holding their tongue? The Magician in the mirror. What did I just say about the birds? The Magician in the mirror, when they see themselves, they attack. The Magician in the mirror, him and his son. When he sees himself in the mirror, like my mother and me, when they see themselves in the mirror, they attack. And there's that relationship there for you. The last two cards coming up is the happy family. So there may be a happy ending for the Emperor, and a cleansing here of opening a new door to spirit, a new journey. Very interesting. Okay, I think I got everything. Make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy in your nature. I do have to read you the first card that came out. Where did I put them down? I'm looking at the wrong place. Okay, so the first card out was the Burning Hero. I am going to read you that one. Number 3, as we had 3-3-3-3 come up. And 4 is the Emperor. All right, the Burning Hero of the Feminine. From the transformative fires of life's tests, you emerge now, stronger in self-belief, overcoming self-doubt and fear, and shedding the layers that have held you back from burning as a naked flame of divine love. Can you perceive the coolness fast approaching to soothe your fire-weary soul? Peace is coming to you now, a respite from the fire, before you're ready to burn into love again. The intensity of fire exists in relationship to cool serenity, and you are capable of experiencing both. Your inner fire has pushed you forward, and your creative self-expression will manifest into the most beautiful forms. This is assured. You burn bright now, and yet it will be the cooling of your soul embers that replenishes you and inspires you to new creative depths and heights in due time. This oracle brings you a message. From the heat of your labor, sweet success will arise, and you can act now as if that success has already been made manifest. It is only a matter of time before it is so. From that success, new levels of experience and creative manifestation will take place. You're in a powerful creative cycle of intensity and serenity, dancing with each other through your heart like the sweet relationship of night and day. This cycle yields great harvest. Offer yourself in contribution to the greater good, and your harvest will not only be of earthly delight, but of heavenly blessings too. The poem reads, always, feeling your love in every cell of my being. I open my soul, becoming one in your embrace. How rich the moments shared, I savor every one, and even when apart, your love envelops me, with knowing we are complete. Together, like a new day, we are born. Rise and be loved, guys. See you soon.